What if the shot heard round the world was only half the story? We all know the tidy version. Grumpy colonists dump tea, trade musket fire with redcoats, cue fireworks. Here's the twist you won't see in a fourth-grade pageant. The revolution wasn't just a land grab with better bumper sticker slogans. It was a full-system reboot, new rules for government, new ideas about who even counts as human, and a gamble so wild that most smart money in 1776 gave it 6 months before implosion. Stay put. In the next 20 minutes, we'll chase the brain sparks that lit the fuse, the battles that kept the dream breathing when it looked dead, and the aftershock that rattled everything from church pews to slave ships. By the end, you'll see why this wasn't simply America's war. It became everyone else's blueprint for liberty. Imagine Boston, 1765. Taverns smell of ale and ink. The buzz phrase, natural rights. Colonists borrow it from John Locke and translate it simply. If you're breathing, you own your life, your freedom, your stuff. Parliament answers with new taxes and the charming line that it can legislate in all cases whatsoever. Translation, pipe down and pay. That clash lights a radical question. If government shreds the social contract, do people get to hit Control-Alt-Delete? Cheap print shops crank out pamphlets faster than TikTok trends. Merchants swap smuggled wine for banned books that say standing armies, tax collectors, and Anglican bishops are the unholy trinity of tyranny. By 1774, even backcountry farmers quote Montesquieu on checks and balances. Knowledge travels faster than smallpox in a winter barracks, and it's just as lethal to the old order. Bottom line, long before muskets flash, the real fight is ink versus crown. Once colonists see themselves as citizens, not subjects, bullets are only a matter of time. Fast forward to April 1775. British troops march toward Concord to grab militia caches. A single shot, nobody knows who, turns debate into open season. Even then, plenty of colonists hope for couples therapy with the king. George III calls them rebels, blockades their ports, and rents 30,000 German mercenaries. Loyalty talk pretty much ends there. Enter Thomas Paine, failed corset maker turned wordslinger. January 1776, he drops Common Sense, a 46-page rant that nukes monarchy with plain English. 3 months later, 120,000 copies circulate in a population of 2 million. Think 15 million books today. Paine's mic drop line. The cause of America is the cause of all mankind. Translation. This isn't about cheaper tea. It's about rewriting civilization's source code. By July, delegates in Philadelphia rubber stamp the Declaration. Jefferson channels Locke, swaps property for pursuit of happiness, and boom, 13 colonies pretend they're a country. Lose the war and every signer hangs. Win and they still have to govern without a crowned head. Something no one's done since togas were in style. Let's not sugarcoat it. The first 2 years are a disaster montage. Washington's army retreats across New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, collecting so many miles they could earn frequent horse coupons. Morale bottoms out in December 1776. Enlistments expire New Year's Day. One more loss, and the dreams toast. Cue the Christmas comeback. Washington crosses an ice-choked Delaware, marches 9 miles through sleet, and wallops surprised Hessians at Trenton. A follow-up win at Princeton proves the old fox can still outdance an empire that owns half the ocean. The real hinge is Saratoga, 1777. British General Burgoyne, hauling fine china and an ego the size of Yorkshire, marches south from Canada expecting loyalist hugs. Instead, he meets stubborn militia, tree-line sharpshooters, and humiliating surrender. France smells blood, flips the bird to Britain, and joins the fight. Now London's juggling a world war from the Caribbean to India. Down south, the grind gets personal. Cities fall, Charleston, Camden. But backwoods militia sharpen squirrel rifles. At Kings Mountain and Cowpens, Americans show they can win without Washington. It's neighbor versus neighbor, Frontier Justice, a trailer for civil war. The finale lands at Yorktown, 1781. French ships cut off Chesapeake Bay while Washington and Rochambeau pin Cornwallis like a bug on a board. After 3 weeks, the British band plays The World Turned Upside Down, a fitting soundtrack for Europe's most feared army tipping its hat to farmers. Fighting sputters on, but global finance is brutal. Britain's broke, France's revenge is delicious, and Spain nibbles Gibraltar. In Paris, diplomats sign a treaty recognizing American independence. 13 colonies, now a nation, own everything east of the Mississippi, never mind the folks already living there. Victory feels great until the hangover. Build a government, define citizen, decide who gets a seat at the table. No big deal. Between 1776 and 1780, 11 states crank out constitutions. Pennsylvania goes full Democratic. One-house legislature, annual elections, no governor veto. Massachusetts opts for balance. 2 houses, separation of powers, Bill of Rights. Each is a live fire test of Enlightenment fanfic. Voting widens, though not to everyone. Property limits drop in several states, handing ballots to small farmers and artisans. Women, enslaved people, and Native Americans watch from the curb, but the conversation itself plants seeds. Religion takes a punch. Anglican churches, hitched to the crown, lose tax support. Virginia passes Jefferson's statute for religious freedom. Almighty God hath created the mind free. Translation: believe, don't believe, whatever. Government keeps its paws off your soul. Slavery wobbles. In 1780, Pennsylvania passes the world's first gradual emancipation law. New England follows. The North doesn't become paradise, but the moral compass tilts. Southern planters panic. They sense their own declaration indicting them. They kick that can down the road, setting up the bloodier reckoning 80 years later. Women excluded from formal politics find loopholes. They run farms, manage shops, publish essays under male pen names. Abigail Adams mails John the memo, "Remember the ladies." The line becomes a rally cry for the next century's suffrage brawl. Even fashion flips. Powdered wigs, out. Homespun cloth, in. Simplicity equals virtue, America's new brand. Equality fever is so contagious that apprentices call merchants friend instead of master. A French visitor gapes as tavern waiters debate Montesquieu between cider pours. Now the story leaps from local revolt to global copy-paste. French revolutionaries adopt liberty, equality, fraternity. Haitian slaves quote the Declaration while tossing out their French masters. Simon Bolivar packs lock next to his saddle. America's export ships with asterisks. The same vessels that carry emancipation pamphlets also ferry cotton grown by enslaved people. Frontier settlers wave liberty banners while seizing native ground. Lesson: revolutions can topple tyrants, but justice is a Season 2 problem. Still, the precedent is wild. For the first time in modern history, a government admits it exists to protect individual rights, not royal mood swings. Power transfers without hereditary title. Written constitutions become the new normal. The genie of popular sovereignty is out. No parchment or bayonet can stuff it back. If this is reshuffling what you thought you knew, maybe making that high school textbook look comatose, do the algorithm a solid. Hit like, smash subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss the next forgotten plot twist. Comments are open. Tell us which revolution you think rewired the planet most. Jump to 2024. The U.S. still wrestles with the same glitch baked in at the founding, lofty ideals versus messy reality. Every fight over voting rules, policing, or who belongs replays those tavern arguments from 1776. The difference? We've got 250 years of trial, error, and blood-soaked hindsight. The revolution's craziest claim isn't that it fixed everything, it's that regular people can hit the reset button when the system drifts from its mission statement. Still radical, still scary, and if history repeats, still contagious. So no, the American Revolution wasn't a simple tax revolt with fireworks. It was a society-wide software patch, new code for government, new rules for citizenship, a promise, buggy but surviving, that ordinary people hold the keys. The shooting stopped in 1783, yet the experiment reboots every time citizens protest, vote, or call out injustice. The revolution's real legacy isn't a flag or a holiday, it's the outrageous idea that tomorrow can outshine today if people dare to rewrite the rules. Thanks for hanging out. If you learned something, share it with the friend who still thinks it was all about tea. Check the description for book links, and we'll catch you next time. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning. History isn't just the past, it's the instruction manual we're still writing.